second chapter. So till yesterday we did shloka 64, 5, 3, 63, right? Today we are supposed to do 64. So in 62 and 63 we were discussing the process of fall down, and now 64 to 71, the fourth question answer. Arjuna's first question was, how does he walk? Who? Isthit Pragyan, the self-realized person. So this question implies that how does the self-realized person who is situated in Samadhi, in Buddhi Yoga, how does he engage his senses? So the answer is, while engaging senses, he does with regulation and religious principles. So 64 onwards it will be explained till 71. Okay. So following rules and regulations and religious principles, that person engages his senses. 64. Raga dvesh vimuktaistu vishayan indriyaischcharan atmavasyair vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. Very nice sloka. I'll read the next sloka also, so we can do together both. So first says, Raga dvesha vimuktaistu vishay indriyaischcharan vishayan indriyaischcharan atma vasyair vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hi ashu buddhi paryavatishthate. Very nice. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. But a person free from all attachment and aversion, raga and dvesha, and able to control his senses through regulated principles of freedom, can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. Purport. It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. One can control the senses, but if senses are not engaged in the service of the Lord, one person may fall down. Although the person in full, because higher engagement, higher taste is needed, senses need some taste. So higher taste of Krishna consciousness should be given. If it is not given, then how long one can control? One day he will fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. He may look sometime like that, but actually he is not attached to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. So in one way this can be said a very nice definition. Or if I want to know, honestly, if I want to know whether I am a devotee or not, or what level of devotee I am, then I can honestly see in my heart that how much I am interested in Krishna's interest. Prabhupada said, the Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna. Is it my condition like that? Am I only concerned about Krishna's satisfaction? Honestly, I have to check. Then answer I know. Okay. So therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment and detachment. And if I am only concerned about Krishna's satisfaction, then what is this raga and dvesa? What is like and dislike? What is attachment and detachment? I am only concerned about Krishna's satisfaction. So if something is there which I can use in the service of Krishna, I will take it. If not, I will reject it. So what attachment, what detachment? Nothing like. What like or dislike? I like this. What does it mean? What is the point of my liking or disliking something? Because I am only concerned about Krishna's satisfaction, then I automatically like only those things which is good for Krishna's service. Which is not, definitely I don't like. So my like and dislike, there is no point at all now. People say, अरे हमारा कोई इच्छा ही नहीं है क्या? There should be some freedom for us. No. Krishna conscious person is only concerned with Krishna's satisfaction, so he is not at all thinking about like, dislike, attachment, because this all comes when I am concerned about my thing. When I am concerned about my sensual pleasure, when I am concerned about my sense gratification, then only I think, oh, this is actually I like, because this gives me more taste. This I don't like. This kind of cushion I like, this kind of cushion I don't like, because that is for my own concern. But when I am only concerned about Krishna's satisfaction, then there is no point of like and dislike, attachment and detachment, raga and dvesa. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. If Krishna wants. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Actually, this sentence is very simple sentence, but it is a very big thing. This is glory of Prabhupada that he just wrote very simply. So, if Krishna wants, then a devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. Like Arjuna is going to kill his relatives. Ordinarily, this is not very desirable thing. Nobody will appraise this. Okay? So, but Krishna wants, he is going to do that. So, that's why when devotee sees that his Guru and Krishna is giving him order to dedicate his life for the service of Krishna, he just do it. Because it may look sometime undesirable, but because Krishna likes it, it is good. Krishna wants, it is good. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is it audible? Okay. Can you hear my voice? Can somebody confirm? Is it audible? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is the point here. We were discussing that if Krishna wants, devotee will do anything. Whether it is, then he does not think whether I like or I don't like. No. So, he will do it. And if Krishna does not want, then he will not do anything which even he likes. If ordinarily he might have done that thing for his own satisfaction, but since Krishna don't like it, he will not do. So this sentence we have to take very seriously in our life. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. So it's not like he is getting disturbed or something. Whether to do it or not do it, it is under his control. Why? Because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. He knows what is pleasing to Krishna. So this consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord. So if one gets this consciousness, that only I will do that thing which is pleasing Krishna, nothing else. And this consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, ahetuki kripa, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So, this mercy which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform, this mercy should be there. So, a person who is detached, but a person free from all attachment and aversion, raga dves, he is vimukta, he is free from all this attachment and aversion, and is able to control his senses through regulative principles. Then what will he get? He will get the prasadam adhigacchati, he will get the mercy of Krishna. And then what will happen? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate prasanna chetaso yashu buddhi parivartishthate. So when he get the mercy of Krishna, So then, for one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. Prasade sarvadukhan. So once he get the mercy of Krishna, all his miseries and threefold miseries are hani rasya upajayate. They are very soon and they are distracted, they are finished. Okay. So, and no more material existence exists for him. And one's intelligence is soon well established. Buddhi parivatisthite. Very nicely he is situated in the Buddhi Yoga. So while engages his senses, a person follows the rules and regulations, religious principles. So the self-realized person is free from all attachment and aversion. Rag and Dvesha. He is free from Rag and Dvesha. Okay. He is free from Rag and Dvesha. He controls his senses through regulative principles, and in this way he completely he attains the mercy of the Lord. So in the purport, the point is emphasize that how a Krishna conscious person transcends all attachment and aversion. How he does this? How he get free from Rag and Dvesha? So he may appear to be on the sensual plane, but he has no attachment to sensual activities. He is not attached, and he is only concerned. Why he is not attached? He is only concerned. What is his only concern? His only concern is satisfaction of Krishna, nothing else. So if Krishna wants, he will do some activities. If Krishna wants, he will do that activity, even though he personally does not like it. Ordinarily, he will not do it, but because Krishna is saying, he will do it. Okay. A person may not like bitter gourd, Karela, but because it is Krishna Prasadam, he may take. Person may not like to travel, but because it is the service of Krishna, he will travel. Right? A person will not like to mop the floor, clean the floor, all those things, but because Krishna's service, he will do it. If Krishna does not want, one shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. And some people, for his own satisfaction, they will do many things. They will go to night clubs, they will eat outside food, onion garlic food, they will do many things, right? They will watch movies, cinema, they will listen Bollywood, Hollywood, Tollywood songs, all these things. But because now devotee understand that Krishna does not like this, so he does not do that. Ordinarily he might have done that, because everybody is doing that, so he will also do that. But because Krishna does not like this, so he will not do that. And things which he will not do that, if Krishna says, he will do it. Like Arjuna is going to kill his own family members. Why? Because Krishna is saying. On what strength does a devotee achieve this exalted consciousness, this much high level consciousness? How a devotee attains? So this consciousness is the causeless mercy of Krishna. Prabhupada is writing in the purport that it is attained out of causeless mercy. Only when Krishna does his causeless mercy, when he gives that, then only devotee can achieve this kind of higher level or exalted consciousness. So when he attains this causeless mercy of Krishna, what is the result? Result is that complete satisfaction of senses and consciousness, santushta, and no more miseries. Prasadam sarvadukhanam hani rasya upajayate. All the miseries are no longer exist, and buddhi parivartisthate. His intelligence is soon well established. Okay, so what is the condition? What happens when a person is not Krishna conscious, when he lacks satisfaction in Krishna consciousness? He is trying, but he is not getting satisfaction in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that is 2.66. Okay, so okay, we can do one more shloka. Actually, I have to leave for some work. नास्ति बुद्धिर्युक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शांतिर्शान्तस्य कुतः सुखम. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind. A person, nasti buddhir ayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana. A person who is not connected with Krishna, he can never have transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. He will not be peaceful. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So if a person is not peaceful, how can he experience any happiness? So unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter 529. Peace formula is given by Krishna. Then when one understands that, what is that? Bhoktaram yagatapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram. So when one understands this, Surdam sarvabhutanam, when we understand this, Gyatmamam shantim rachati. So unless, so when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all. So first thing, Bhoktaram yagatapsam, that Krishna is the enjoyer of all the results, all the good results of sacrifice and penance. Second thing, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestation, Sarvalok Maheshwara. And third thing, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam. Then only one can have real peace. So if a person understands these three things, Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices and penances, Krishna is the supreme controller, and Krishna is the proprietor of all the manifestation, and third thing, Krishna is the real friend, real well-wisher of mine, of all the living entities, Surdam Sarvabhutanam, all the living entities, then one will be peaceful. So therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Mind always will be flickering here, there, he will not be satisfied. Okay? If he is not in Krishna consciousness. So disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor and friend of everyone and everything, then one can with a steady mind bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life, actually externally he can show, but internally he is disturbed. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. So automatically one will become peaceful if he is fixed in Krishna consciousness. Within the heart he will feel very peaceful automatically. Okay, it is self-manifested process. Okay, so that is the point where Prabhupada is saying that how one can attain peace. Because when one understand this, that Krishna is my only master, he is my well-wisher, he is well-wisher of everyone, he is the supreme controller, he is the enjoyer, then one becomes really peaceful. He is not, otherwise, because if he understands these three principles, then his goal becomes Krishna. So he is fixed. But when he does not understand this, his goal is always changing. Oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And like a monkey jumping from one branch to another branch, he keeps jumping. So he is disturbed always. So that is why, in order to get peace, we have to be fixed in Krishna consciousness, understanding these three principles, Bhoktaram yagatapsam sarvalok maheshwaram, Surdam sarvabhutanam gyatvam shantim richyati. Krishna is the enjoyer of all good results of sacrifice and penances. Krishna is the proprietor of all universal manifestations. And third one, Krishna is the real friend of all living entities. Okay, and in this way we attain, when we understand this, we become peaceful, and when we become peaceful, we are happy. Hare Krishna. So 67 we shall do tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.